That was really spooky. I feel really seen. I have so much to say about that, but I'll be a good little interview subject.
No, say it all.
I will say it all, trust me.
Hello and welcome to I'll Drink to That. I'm Melanie Sutrathada, and today we are raising the bar on conversations around Broadway and beyond. Today we have the most incredible guest, the one and only Ryan McCartan. You may have seen Ryan on Wicked, Heathers, Frozen. Frozen was incredible.
Thank
11
you.
out of 10. And also, Ryan is joining the cast of something really exciting. What do you think it is?
I can't believe my life is so stupid, dude.
No, I love it so
can't
much.
believe that this is happening. Doing Gatsby and Gatsby, bro.
Incredible. Well, I think we have to drink to that. So
Let's.
I'm gonna call in my friend Chris. Chris, come in. We're getting some drinks.
Chris.
We're at the Fleur room and everything is so beautiful. So we gotta do it. Wait, which one's mine? Which one's yours? Well,
Cheers.
I'll drink to that. Cheers. Thank you, Chris.
You didn't make eye contact with me, so that's 7 years of bad sex. But what's 7 more years?
We have some really important questions for you. Wicked or Frozen?
Girl, okay, wait.
Tell me.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Wicked,
Mm-hmm.
but also, I just feel like a conversation that we're not having enough in the zeitgeist is that they're the same damn thing. Wicked and Frozen are the same thing.
No.
Yes, warring interests, 2 female leads coming together, but having different sort of, like, the Hans role and the Fiyero role are just kind of the same thing, but reversed. You like Hans at the beginning and you hate him at the end. You like Fiyero at the end, but you hate him at the beginning. Like, doing Fiyero in Wicked and then doing Hans in Frozen, I was like, these are the same show. Like, you have sort of like the good witch, and then you have sort of like the bad witch. You have like the good sister and the bad sister. The bad sister has like all of the fierce songs, and the good sister kind of like tells the story. They're the same show.
So I feel like I hear you, but also that was a cop-out. So Wicked or Frozen?
I picked Wicked.
Great.
Wicked. And I just wanted to introduce that conversation to the zeitgeist.
Lovely. So, Fiyero or JD?
Honestly, what's like flashing before my brain right now is all of the trouble I'm going to get in on social media, no matter how I answer this question. I think for the safety of myself and others, I have to pick Fiyero, because as much as people love to simp over JD, he is a murderer. And
That's the only red flag in that situation?
For the paper trail, I just want to be on the record saying I think that's bad. You know, simping over a murderer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Diggy or Gatsby?
Gatsby.
Whoa! Yes!
No, girl, okay, I have said this so many times, I'll say it until the day I die. I loved playing Diggy. I'm so blessed to have been on the Disney Channel. If Diggy and I went to the same high school, we would not have been friends.
Honestly, I don't think I would have been either.
I don't with him. I don't. Like, and then there was that episode where Maddie had to like pick between Josh and Diggy, and Josh was objectively a better choice.
Yeah.
And then she picked Diggy because that's what the writers wanted and because we were dating in real life. And I was just
fair.
like, and the audience went crazy. And I was like, I would too. Like,
I would too.
They're better together. Diggy is a pillowcase.
But sometimes we want the things that we shouldn't have.
Girl, that is true.
Who was or is your Broadway crush?
Wait, like a character or like a person?
Either. Maybe both. We're going to get you in trouble, and I love
Patti
it.
LuPone's Gypsy and Patti LuPone.
No notes.
With Patti, bro. I know she's in trouble right now. She will always be in trouble, but with Patti.
I love
really
Patti.
do.
Okay, favorite Patti anything. Performance, existence, song.
Everything's Coming Up Roses at the Tonys. In high school, watching that YouTube video over and over and over again. And here's something very interesting. I have a Patti LuPone story. I did an episode of the old Masterclass on HBO that was partnered with Young Arts, because I was a Young Arts finalist. And so they picked a bunch of Young Arts students to work with these master teachers. Me and 3 other students got to work with Patti LuPone. We had like a work session with her, and then there was like a breakfast where we got to go out with Patti and ask her anything. I was not brave enough, but Kira Wharton, one of the students, was brave enough to ask her, like, everyone says you're a diva. Like, what's with that? And Patti goes, well, of course I'm a diva. It's because I get what I want.
Ooh.
Now,
Patti.
but listen, children, this is important. As a young person, what I thought she was saying was like, yeah, bitch, I am a diva and I own it. But now that I've gotten older, I have realized that I think what Patti was saying was, they will call you a diva when you make them give you what you want. I think what Patti was saying is, well, of course, they will call me a diva because I show up and I say, this is what I need. And if you don't give it to me, I'm going to walk. And so they say she's a diva and she's saying, am I? Or am I just asking for what I want? I don't know. I'm pro people asking for what they want and getting it.
I will drink to that for sure. Yes.
Another one.
Yes.
Good eye contact that time.
I know, you scared me about the other thing. Can't even mention it.
So there you go. They'll call you a diva if you get what you want. Be a diva then, I think.
Have you had any diva moments?
Oh, I'm sure I have. I don't think this was a diva moment, but I'm sure people thought it was a diva moment. I was at the airport. This was when I was on the Disney Channel, and all of these people like sort of swarmed me to like get me to like sign stuff for them. But it wasn't like the fan kind of thing. It was the like, we're going to sell these kind of thing. It was like paparazzi.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I did a couple, and like they were kind of like pushing me, crowding me. They weren't letting me go.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like screamed at them. Like I had a meltdown at them. But like, I'm sure to an outside viewer, it would be like, oh my God, that's stuck. Like, just be respectful and move on. But like, they were scaring me. I also have a diva. Okay, I have another diva story. But again, I don't think I was wrong about this.
I also don't think you were wrong about the first one,
I don't either. But okay, but this, again, the sort of like culture of like, am I sticking up for myself or am I being an ungrateful piece of shit? Is like always the calculation that you have to do in this business, which I think is really sad. And like just sort of our innate fear of being judged by everyone all the time.
Absolutely.
Even if you feel like you're doing something you need to do. On the Rocky Horror Picture Show, for the There's a Light sequence, we did 3 overnight shoots in the winter of Toronto with rain towers. So it was freezing and we were outside all night getting rained on. Me and Victoria Justice. We signed up for that. Like we knew we would be outside in the rain. But there were a lot of people who did not sign up for that, i.e. like our wardrobe people and our makeup people who would come and do last looks. It was really late at night and I could have handled this better. They were behind. They were like, okay, we're rolling and wardrobe was here, makeup was here, and we just weren't ready. And we're like, we're not ready. They're like, we gotta go. I was like, we're not ready. And they turned on the rain tower and just doused the wardrobe and makeup people in rain. And I was like, turn that rain tower off, like red in the face, screaming up the hill at the first AD. And everyone was like, oh, like Ryan's mad, like what's going. But that was just a moment of like justice for me, of like, don't turn the rain on them. And like, it's not our fault that you're behind. Those are like the 2 big diva moments that came to mind. I think I was defending myself and others, but also like, you don't need to scream, Ryan. You don't need to scream. So maybe I could have done better.
A lot of times our crew can be seen as not the priority. And I don't think that should be the case, because without the crew, nothing else can happen.
Literally. No, and that like that's how it felt. It was just like you're literally dumping on them. Like you're literally dumping on them. And like everyone's work and everyone's time needs to be respected. And there had to have been a better way to get what you needed than to just turn on the rain. And I remember being like so viscerally upset about that.
So that leads me to my next question. Are some people born wicked?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That was intense.
No, I think so. I believe in the duality of things. Like, I think that there is innate and absolute goodness in this world. But then, I also think that there has to be kind of like innate and absolute badness. And that has to come from somewhere.
Are some people worth melting for?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the people worth melting for are worth melting for. And I think the quest is figuring out who those people are.
I know you are a huge Sondheim fan.
Huge.
So what is your favorite Sondheim song? One that just replays in your mind frequently.
Being Alive.
Why?
I just think it's so absolutist. Like, I'm sure Sondheim purists are going to think that I'm wrong about this. And I honestly don't care either way. I'm not like so resolute in my convictions about this, but like it feels to me, I never met him, I never knew him, but it feels to me like that was his thesis. Like that was Stephen. And I get it. Yeah, somebody forced me to care. Like somebody make this worth it. We were having a lovely conversation before the camera started rolling about how we're all just meat stacks on a floating ball in the middle of an ever-expanding universe. And like sometimes that feels really existential and scary. And like meaning comes from wherever you derive it. And like that song, again, it's so absolute. It's like, this needs to mean something. There needs to be some we're the only animals on the entire planet that ponder our own existence. And like, that's a blessing and a curse. And I feel like Sondheim is like really exploring that in that song in a way that like I think is so pure. Not that I've thought about it or anything.
That makes me think of a little bit of Gatsby, because I think sometimes you get so far into something that you feel like it's too late to back out. Is that something that draws you to The Great Gatsby?
Yes. First of all, I just think that's such an interesting point. It's called the sunken cost fallacy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so far in this, I have to see it to the end. I think that's such a human thing. I mean, I think it's why so many of us stay in things we shouldn't stay in. I think it's why so many of us keep trying something that we have already been exposed to the proof that it doesn't work. And I think that it's human, that you just do the same thing over and over again and you don't learn your lesson. But there's obviously something quite horrible and harmful about that, but there's also something so beautiful about our capacity to keep trying. Gatsby is a wonderful example, I think, of, oftentimes I think it may feel on the surface that the most rewarding acting happens with a character that goes through a massive litany of emotions or wants and needs and desires and experiencing a very sort of a vast gamut of all of these types of things, emotions, needs, wants, tactics. For me, though, I almost find it most rewarding to play a character that is wholly and completely one thing. JD is just revenge. It is just revenge of a world that he deems cruel to him. And even being in love with Veronica is revenge. You are playing one thing the whole time, and that might seem boring. I find it so thrilling to be able to be in the same place throughout the whole story. Hans, is shame. His opinion about his station in life. Well, Gatsby is desire. From the moment he walks on stage, every single aspect of his journey through the story, the fact that he spends his last breath saying her name, he is desire the whole time. I love playing roles like that. I just think that that's so captivating to be able to enthrall yourself fully in one, vector of the human experience. And like, while I've done that before, something as potent as desire is what is so stupidly thrilling to me. And I can't believe this is my life. I love the character too. I mean, I love the book. I love the movies. Like, I love the character anyway. But then the fact that you get to have this opportunity to tell a story this way is just so thrilling.
Well, one of the things that I really love about you, Ryan, is I think you have this way of tapping into this really sweet vulnerability. I don't know if this is a Ryan thing, but sometimes I feel like maybe you feel like you are not the one the spotlight was made for in a way. I'm so sorry I said that to you. But I think back to you in 2011 and singing Jason Robert Brown's Someone to Fall Back On. And I remember when I heard that for the first time, I sobbed. Because I think we all kind of feel like that. Like, are we someone's second choice? And even if I'm second, that's enough for me, because is that what I deserve? Can you tell me about singing it in 2011 versus singing it this past year?
That was really spooky. I feel really seen. I have so much to say about that, but I'll be a good little interview subject.
No, say it all.
I will say it all, trust me. It's just life experience, Someone to fall back on when I won the Jimmy was in ways actual and tangible to me, but in many ways was theoretical. It was a joy and a journey to tap into those theoretical feelings. Singing it at the anniversary concert, not only with 10 more years of life experience under my belt did I have the privilege of exploring that song in a way that was completely actual, but I also had the realization sort of halfway through it that it was now actual. Not only was I able to tap into that, but I was realizing when I was sort of put on the map with this song, I didn't know what I was singing about, and now I do. And that tangible evidence of growth and pain, life experience, scars, a beautiful full circle moment. It's really spooky that you said what you said, though, because I I've been thinking about this a lot, particularly as it pertains to this project and this time in my life, just to be like very mask off. I think that there's sort of a duality in our culture, right? I mean, especially in the West, in more sort of developed places where we have the privileges that we do to experience the life the way that we do. I think that we are both, and I guess I'll use the word chronically introspective, and that's coupled with or buttressed by the fact that we also chronically overconsume everyone else's life. We have a penchant for assuming everyone else is perfect and a proclivity for assuming we are the worst or just not good enough, not meant for the spotlight, or the spotlight wasn't meant for you. And regardless of the perceived secular success that I may have had, I'm no exception to that. So blessed to play JD, but the show's about Veronica. So blessed to play Fiero, but the show's about the witches. So blessed to play Hans, but the show's about the sisters. And I think that I believed for so long, and am still working this out very much in real time, that I can't do it. That I can't do this. For all intents and purposes, just to make something very clear, like Gatsby is not something that I pursued. Gatsby is something that I was dragged kicking and screaming into. Because when I got the call that there was any interest in this, I laughed. I was like, there is no way. Like, I can't do that 8 shows a week. I can't sing that material. I can't lead this amazing show and honor this amazing text. I can't. And my family said I could, and they're biased. And my friends said I could, and they're biased. And my fans, say I can, and they're biased. And the creative team of The Great Gatsby says they think I can, and they're biased. And eventually it's like, wow, this is a grand conspiracy. Every single person is lying to me. Or I'm lying to me. Someone very special to me sort of dared me, literally locked me in a room and said, sing the material, and just I dare you to believe that you can. There are so many reasons why this is such an amazing opportunity. I take it so seriously. I'm going to be so precious with it. Personally, though, if I get nothing else out of this opportunity, to allow the spotlight to be for me, maybe for the first time in my entire life, is what I'm really after. It's so spooky that you just like pulled that out of nowhere. You always think that you're doing such a good job, of fooling everyone. But like, we really do see each other pretty clearly in this world. And that has been an insecurity and a limiting belief that I have been doing this for 24 years. And for almost all of it, I've just sort of been like, this is an accident. Like at some point, someone is gonna come and be like, not you, no, your time's up. We found you. You fooled us for too long. And I think I finally just reached a point where it's like, you know what? No more. What if I just enjoyed? And so it was crazy that I pontificated for such a long time, but it's crazy that you like saw that or felt that or whatever, because it's so self-evidently true, but also like it is something that I feel this particular opportunity is why it is so important for me right now. I think I started this interview by saying like, my life is so stupid. Like I can't believe this is happening. I can't. It's so cool to let myself just be happy about that instead of panic about that. Feels really good.
Can I do something with you really quickly?
Yeah.
Can you hold my hands?
Oh God, am I going to cry?
I might cry. I cannot wait to see you shine the way you were meant to. You are going to be an incredible Gatsby. Everyone around you sees it, except for you.
I know.
You're going to be amazing. And on that note, I will drink to that.
Girl, I didn't know we were getting this deep. I didn't sign up for this.
Well, the worst part is you didn't make eye contact, so 7 years of bad sex.
What's 7 more years?
And, well, now that we've been here, we'll see you next time and we'll drink to that.
Holy shit. Bye.
Thanks to our guest for the great conversation, to the Tao Group for hosting us at the Floor Room, and to you for joining us. Subscribe to catch every episode and let us know in the comments who you'd love to see next on I'll Drink to That. Cheers and see you next time.